Have you ever wondered what the best team would look like where you would only have guaranteed free cards? We will check it out right now. Here comes Pepe. Welcome everybody! So to clarify this, only cards that are not only free, but also guaranteed are allowed here. This for example means no Tchouaméni because he's a paid match pass player. No Pires or Bernardo, despite having an event giving us all the coins for them, they were not free. Cards from Epic or Showtime boxes such as Roy Mackay are obviously not allowed. And neither are cards like Wan-Bissaka because despite being free, he was not guaranteed. Also, no cards from the contract renewal special because the spins were not guaranteed for everyone, meaning no Van Nistelrooy, Van Buiten, Baresi, Davids and so on. No player of the week cards because they are random and no treasure link cards because they weren't guaranteed. GP cards are also not included. Also, we will not go further back than 2 years. Daily game cards are allowed, however, despite being able to get them all by playing, I'll only use one of the new ones because the season is still fresh. About the formation, I'll first show a generic 4-5-1, which could also be used as a 4-3-3 with wingers if you like, and then transition into a classic full meta formation for both quick and long ball counter. I'll also let you know what alternatives there are and how I would build a team like this in my formation. If you have any additions or would change anything, feel free to let me know in the comments because I'm sure I will forget at least 1 or 2 players as usual, and there are more than just my options. Now let's begin with the keeper. I think this one is obvious. In my opinion, the answer has to be selection contract Khan. This does mean that we give up on a lot of great players like Cannavaro, Cáceres, Van Basten, Bebeto, Forlan and others, but we kind of have to. Khan was the first time a keeper of this level was available for free. The next best option would probably be Abbiati, who was in this selection contract here, meaning if we'd switch to him, we would not only have a much worse keeper, but could also no longer use either of Owen, Batistuta or Nakata. We will get back to the selection soon. Having a keeper now, let's go for the 2 center backs. I think the best option here is the most recent free Saliba. He has an amazing player model, is physically good and more importantly is also fast enough to keep up with the long through ball plays. The old nominating contract Saliba is very similar and works as well. When playing a high line, it's fine to trade some points of defending to make him faster. The second center back is a tough one and depends on playstyle. When playing a high line where pace matters, in my opinion, it's Bastoni. This means we can't use Gnabry, but it should be okay. Just like Saliba, he reaches 90 speed, an important breakpoint. Acceleration is fine too, defensive stats are all over 90, for a free card, he's great. Also comes with Fortress. Now if you would play say long ball counter and can handle slower center backs, then your choice could be Tony Adams. He has a superior player model compared to Bastoni, higher defensive stats and is better in the air, but he's a lot slower. Both choices are fine. For our left back, I think there's a great choice here and that's Costa Curta. So old, yet still relevant. When playing a high line like quick counter, it's good to have a lot of speed. For a long ball counter, you can trade some of the speed for defending. I've done both, it's fine. For our last defender, the right back, it's again 2 options. In my opinion, it's between Belletti and Koundé. Both are amazing free cards, but I would go with Belletti here. He requires a defensive instruction though. The reason is that pace is more important now due to through balls, and Belletti's speed and acceleration are crazy. Like take the latest Bergomi. In terms of running speed, Belletti from way ago can actually keep up. One downside of picking Belletti would be that both Sneijder and Villa become unavailable, but I think that's worth it. Koundé would also be fine though. Comparing them, Belletti is obviously a lot faster and has a slight advantage in leg coverage. The defensive stats aren't too far off. Koundé wins arm coverage and torso, and he's also a lot better in the air. But against the best aerial cards, both of them will be severely outmatched, which is why I wouldn't spend too many points in aerial. Let's move to the defensive midfielder. I think this one is a very easy choice. It's the new daily game Rijkaard. Anchorman playstyle, very nice player model, great defensive stats, decent speed, nice physicality and visionary pass. He will do a fantastic job intercepting balls and distributing them for a counter-attack. He would also work well as a center back. For the central midfielder, there are probably quite a few possible choices. I will stick to two. The more defensive option, despite a rather offensive build here, would be box-to-box Showtime Kante. He's very fast for a midfielder and has absurdly high defensive stats. His ball control and tight possession along with his passing allow him to also be relevant offensively because he will be moving forward. My other choice would be a more offensive one. Nominating contract Bellingham. This player is as box-to-box as it can get. He has good top speed for a midfielder, amazing physical contact, has enough defensive stats to be relevant, and can also keep the ball, pass, or even finish. And on top of that, he has a fantastic player model in every single aspect, especially leg coverage. You can also build him in so many ways. It's such a great card despite being quite old. Another option would be box-to-box phenomenal pass Zaire Emery. Great passer, good on the ball, very fast, defensively alright, but horrible at finishing. Let's move to the attacking midfielder. And this is where things get a bit complicated. Pound for pound, in terms of raw stats, Nakata is the best free guaranteed attacking midfielder. I mean, look at this, he's fantastic, he's fast, he's great at finishing, great on the ball, even some defensive stats, and also nice physical contact. He's even a hold player, which most people prefer. However, since the new version of the game, there is somebody that comes close, too close. And that's Eden Hazard. Looking at him, he's very similar in many aspects, but is slightly slower and has no physicality. An inactive playstyle is absolutely fine as an attacking midfielder. I've been playing that for ages. There are two reasons why I would choose Hazard over Nakata, despite Nakata having better stats. The first one is Hazard has maximum weak foot proficiency, which is something I really value. And the second one, you'll see in a minute. Meanwhile, let's find our left midfielder or winger, depending on what you prefer. If you prefer a playmaking dribbler who's fantastic on the ball and a reliable passer, your choice could be Isco. If you prefer raw speed and finishing, your choice could be France Mbappé. Both are absolutely fine choices and amazing free players. Santos Neymar could also fit, but I feel like his lack of passing and extreme lack of physicality puts him slightly below the others. Still a great free choice. Now about the two last positions, the right winger and the striker. If we go the regular way, for the right winger, we could choose last year's daily game Salah. Quite fast, good on the ball, good dribbling, great finisher. If you don't mind having a right foot here, you could also use the other one out of Isco or Mbappé that we've just seen. So when choosing this regular route, the striker should be either Owen or Batistuta. And that's the second reason why we couldn't choose Nakata before. Because he would prevent either one. Whether it's Owen or Batistuta is up to anyone. Batistuta is the more bulky and aerial one with phenomenal finishing, whereas Owen is the fast agile one who has full weak foot proficiency. So not choosing Nakata actually allowed us to have full weak foot proficiency on both the attacking midfielder and the striker. If somebody would insist on using Nakata, you would have to use Mbappé up front and two out of Isco, Hazard and Salah for the side midfielders or wingers. Would also be a great choice. If for some reason somebody wants to use Mbappé up front, Isco to the left and Salah to the right, then he could actually use Van Buiten as a defender, as nobody else from this selection pack would be used. Van Buiten's player model is one of the best in the game. Quite dangerous to play with a high line though. Now, there are two more players who definitely deserve to be mentioned. For those that like to include crossing in their playstyles, your right winger should be Gnabry. He's amazing. This, however, removes Bastoni, so you'll have to use Adams then. Or you could use Costa Curta as a center back and go with Serginho as a left back, who will be a great addition for overlaps and crosses. If you do this and play with quite a focus on crossing, your striker is gonna be bullet-header Darwin Núñez, a really great aerial striker. You could also adjust him to be more of a regular striker if crossing isn't your only way of attacking. So with crossing, if you stick to Núñez up front, this also suddenly unlocks Massimo Ordo as an edge crossing right back because you have Núñez and don't need Owen or Batistuta. So now let's see how the formation changes if we go with like the full meta formation. It's actually not that different. The biggest change is that Belletti is gone now, so we can use Villa as a striker. Instead of Belletti, we use Koundé. If somebody would want to keep Belletti at all costs, he could use Santos Neymar instead of Villa, or someone else who I probably forgot. So apart from Belletti, the defense remains the same. Rijkaard also stays as a defensive midfielder, and Hazard stays as an attacking midfielder. For the central midfielder, it all depends on how somebody would like to play. Isco would be a very offensive option, Kanté would be a very defensive option, Bellingham would be a middle ground. In the meta formation, we now have 3 strikers, which are Mbappé and Owen, who we've had before, and David Villa. Pretty straightforward. Now for some more variation, my last formation. My quick counter formation that I recently made a guide about, amazingly fun to play and also very powerful. For the 3 at the back, we need fast players as quick counter has the highest defensive line out of them all. Costa Curta would be fine as well, but I'd prefer Bastoni because of higher leg coverage and fortress. The midfield is similar to the first formation, except that we can now play both Kanté and Bellingham at same time. With Hazard and Bellingham, we have 2 inactive playstyles as AMFs. I've done that before, works surprisingly well. Both of them have very high weak foot proficiency, which is really good to have. Alternatively, instead of one of them as the right attacking midfielder, a free Messi like this one for example is also a possible choice. And there are probably quite some more. Isco is on the left, Salah is on the right, just like at the first formation. Up front we have Owen, very fast, very high weak foot, a great striker that I've been using at the English event ever since. Perfect for this. Now, feel free to let me know your choices and how your guaranteed free teams would look like in the comments. That's it folks, let me know if you liked this video. I'd love if you subscribed, liked or commented. Until then guys, take it easy. Shaka!